Well, welcome back. I'm Dr. Marilyn Carroll, and I'm your host for business communication, managing and business communication. And so, again, we are on chapter 14. After this chapter, we have two chapters left, and we should be well versed on um, how to managing and business communications and managing complex situations, managing the various things that we have to do around communications from a business perspective. So this is chapter 14, planning presentations. We just finished talking about putting together presentations in chapter 13, business, how do you put a plan, a proposal or plan together, presentation together for those. And so now we're going to move into our next phase of planning presentations. So now I'm going to share my monitor with you, and we will go into our text for our lesson for today. So what about those planning communications? So this week we're going to describe how planning our presentation leads to credibility. We're going to analyze our presentation audience in terms of message benefits, learning styles, and communicator style. And this is a lot of what we do now, and from an education perspective as well. We're going to organize and gather content for a review or preview, view, and review. And we're going to develop effective slide presentations. We're going to use that storyline approach to our presentations. And then we're going to evaluate our presentations for fairness and effectiveness. So let's get started applying the AIM planning process for our presentation. AIM, audience, information, and message, AIM. And we talked about AIM earlier when we first got started in the first two chapters of this learning presentation. So audience, address the needs and speak to the audience in a way that is most appealing and easy to learn. So that's what audience is, and addresses the needs of those audience. What's my audience? What do they need? And how am I coming to them? Information, it identifies the key facts and conclusions. And message, it focuses on key takeaway concepts and providing supporting points throughout. So principles of audience analysis include audience benefits, existing knowledge, concerns, decision makers, appeals, communicator style, and learning styles. Yes, learning style matters, because if you don't understand all the various learning styles there are, it's going to be difficult to make sure your presentation covers a style which is amenable to all learning styles. Analyze your audience and gather the right information. So there are 7 questions to ask yourself. How will audience members benefit from the product, service, or ideas I'm proposing? What do the audience members already know about my product, service, or ideas? What are my audience members' chief concerns? And who are the key decision makers? What will appeal to my audience? I need to consider motivational value systems. What is the learning style of my audience? Visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learning. And what information do I need to gather? So when we're developing our message, this is the most critical factor in our presentation success. So we must identify our few takeaway messages. We'll need to structure our presentation with a clear preview, view, and review. And then we need to combine our compelling preview. And a preview is an effective attention getter. It's a positioning statement and an overview statement. That's what our preview includes: effective attention getter, a positioning statement, and an overview statement. And so here's a rhetorical question. Attention getter, an example. Have any of you ever thought your performance review wasn't fair? Or have you ever dreaded delivering performance reviews? As we started looking at research about annual reviews, we found that the most employees and managers don't think annual reviews improve performance. This attention getter immediately evokes thinking about personal experiences for audience members who hate or involved in a review process. Vivid example is this example here If you take time to read it for a moment, and then come back to me. The example captures the attention of the audience with its vivid story-based description of what really employees really think. And so many audience members would take this example seriously. This example would take roughly 30 to 35 seconds to deliver the 82 words. So yes, this is attention, a vivid attention grabber. So here's another one. Take a moment, pause, and pause your presentation and read it. All right, so this attention getter gives the audience a tangible sense of how the platform can produce continuous helpful feedback. This demonstration is delivered in a few minutes. Letitia should be prepared to demonstrate the technology rapidly, or she'll lose the interest of her audience. Here's another testimonial or quotation one. So read it and pause, read it, and then come back. All right. This short statement focuses on the testimonial of an HR manager who implemented a similar situation. Now, the statement emphasizes a dramatic rise in profitability, which appeals to senior managers emotionally and rationally. It would take about 30 seconds to deliver 77 words. Ideally, a compelling video testimonial would be provided as well. So intrinsic statistic. So this one provides numbers, and it's a short one, so we'll go ahead and go over it right quick. It's no secret that employees don't think annual reviews are accurate indicators of their performance. In fact, roughly 50 to 75% of employees say this is says this in various surveys. But did you know that nearly 50% of HR managers don't even think annual reviews are accurate as well? Now, this attention giver focuses on compelling but likely expected statistics about employees. 50 to 75% don't think annual reviews are accurate indicators of their performance. And an unexpected statistic about HR managers, nearly 50% of HR managers don't even think annual reviews are accurate. So these statistics rapidly create the message that annual reviews aren't considered reliable by all parties involved. The employees who receive them are managers who administer them. This concise statement takes roughly 20 seconds to deliver in the 47 words. So unexpected exercise, here's another example. Challenge, another example. So take time, read these as you go through, pause your video and read them. So creating a positioning statement frames your message in appealing terms to your audience members. It demonstrates clear and valuable benefits, ideally 1 to 2 sentences. So final part of your review, ideally 1 to 3 sentences, simple conversational language. So justify your views. Your 2, 3, or 4 key messages include strong support material, specific cases or examples, stories and illustrations, analogies, statistics and facts, quotations, or your own experiences. So components of prep method. Prep means position, reasons, example, position. So here are some sample statements for a position. With annual reviews, our employees often get feedback when it's too late to make any changes. With continuous reviews from managers and peers, our employees will receive constant feedback, positive and negative, that will help them improve their performance right away. Now, reasons. Check this out. Many HR professionals in recent years have found that the timing of feedback, the amount of positive feedback, and the feedback from a variety of colleagues all contribute to better performance. Do you agree? What are your thoughts? Now, example. Oh my gosh, here is a great example sample statements. This is, let's take time to pause the video and read this thoroughly, all right? Let's read and see what we come up with from this. All right, so that was a great sample statement. Now look at position. So we anticipate the same results here at the Eastman. Continuous reviews would ensure each employee gets more constructive feedback more often, and we expect this helpful feedback will increase the performance level of employees. Now, I'm going to take time to talk about reviews here for a moment, since we were talking about performance reviews in this example, and it's a great opportunity to talk about this. Reviews, there should be no surprises in reviews. If managers are working with their employees on one-on-ones on a monthly basis and giving some type of feedback, there would be no surprises in that performance review. I think that it's been my experience as well as my research that indicates that reviews that are done once or twice a year are not accurate, and that reviews need to be done more sporadically. And it's not about the review. The review should be about let's review what we reviewed all during the year, not let's review what we haven't reviewed all during the year. It's let's review what we reviewed throughout the year. 1 or 2 times a month to check in with your employees is the best way to really handle your management role and position. Many people don't do this. It doesn't take sitting down and formalizing everything constantly. Even for me, I could, if I wanted better reviews from my managers, I probably could do something to the effect of writing her email every month and saying, here's what I've done this month. And I just wanted to communicate that with you. As a matter of fact, I think I'll start doing it. I used to do it at the bank, but I haven't done it in some of the other areas that I worked in. But I think I'm going to start doing that from here on out, and providing that monthly feedback and saying, here's what I've done this month. Here's how much time I'm spending on things. And so it's no surprise to her, and she or he won't have any challenges in putting together that review for me. So review, have a strong finish, gain buy-in for specific actions, recap your message in a few sentences, and provide a call to action. Design appealing slides. Good visuals include business people frequently use PowerPoint or other electronic slide presentations. This can increase communication effectiveness and persuasiveness by about 50% because there's something in front of people, and that's why it does it. Don't forget, you as the speaker are the focus of the presentation, right? Create a storyboard with your slide titles, okay? So setting up slides titles to make a smooth, logical presentation. And here's some examples here on the monitor. So pause the monitor and read through those, all right? Here's the next slide. And let's pause for a moment again to read through them. Here's the next slide, 14.3. Pause for a moment to read through those as well. So as you can see, design appealing slides for ease of positionings is limit the amount of information in any given slide. There should be no more than 4 or 5 bullet points in a slide. Use font sizes that are all audience members can read. All audience members can read easily. Focus on and highlight key information and use plenty of white space. Design your slides for ease of processing and use high contrast backgrounds and colors. Use compelling images in moderation and develop simple charts and diagrams. Get professional design help if you need them. So applying the storyline approach to your presentation, remember that this allows your listeners to engage on a deeper level emotionally and intellectually. People remember stories more easily than they do abstract information, and they are more likely to act on what they hear via the stories. So stories for business contain the following statements or elements: the plot, the setting, the resolution, and the moral or lesson of the story. This is the same thing if you were writing a story for a movie, a strip, a television show, or a book that you were writing about. This is the same process. Reviewing your presentations for fairness and effectiveness. Make sure in your final review, you check technology, that your technology is working, everything is set up and ready to go for your presentation. Check for typos, send feedback from colleagues or seek feedback from colleagues and clients. And apply the FAIR test. And we know what the FAIR test is. The facts, how factual is your presentation, access, how accessible or transparent are your motives, reasoning, and information, impact, how does your communication impact your stakeholders, and respect, how respectful is your presentation. And that's it for chapter 14. It was a quick chapter. And so that was great. I hope you got that. I added the little extra commentary on the review system process since we were on that. And we're not necessarily covering that in the class. Well, we're going to talk about some other things in chapter 16 around employment, but I wanted to cover that while we were on this chapter. So that is it. Take care, and I'll see you in coffee and community. I mean, coffee and conversation. Take care.